Johnny, let's move on into our next topic, and we're kind of moving now into the Sony thing, like I said, and we're going Venom. We haven't talked about Venom in a while.
No, we haven't.
This is kind of, it says rumors on the articles that you read. However, these have been rumors since February. Basically, Woody Harrelson is being rumored to be playing Carnage in the Venom movie that we're going to see later this year. However, a new report from Bleeding Cool, sourced an anonymous tipster, I know those anonymous tipsters, man, you can't get enough of them, revealed that Harrelson will indeed play Carnage in Venom. However, then the Screen Rant report also says no other information was given aside from the aforementioned detail, but this corroborates persistent speculation that the solo Star Wars story actor will take on the role of the serial killer psychopath. There's also another article, this is a more editorial one, of Venom should have made Carnage its main villain. We know Carnage is not going to be the main villain. They're probably going to go with the villains of Venom, with the Lethal Protector storyline having the other symbiotes be the main villain, be the scientist, kind of the Drake in Venom. The guy played by Riz Ahmed is going to be the main villain for this. But I want to ask you this question of, in Venom, that we will see later this year, what will Carnage's role be? What will it be in Venom?
Well, I mean...
Or what should it be?
Should it be?
Maybe that's what we should ask, is what should Carnage's role be, and what do you think it will be?
I think this is more so going to be focused on Venom, how he becomes kind of Venom, and I think he's going to kind of push almost straight, maybe not even becoming Venom, but more so pushing straight into kind of like a Agent Venom style Venom, where he's not like, that's actually a decent one.
Yeah.
Killing everyone and whatnot. I think this is going to be like halfway between, where it's like, I'm becoming Venom and I have to fight back and forth with this, like, in my head type thing to balance it.
Because Agent Venom was Flash Thompson, correct?
Yes.
So,
yes,
I mean, it wouldn't be, and I think what they've said, and I mean, this is going back way, I know we've talked about it, that Lethal Protector isn't the main storyline. I do believe they're also using elements of Agent Venom to be the story for this one.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the hybrid for it. I don't know how I feel about that. Like the whole thing of, I know this is what we've talked about before, but like how you just said it, where I don't think we're going to get this because we've already seen what the movie might be a little bit.
Yeah, we got a little taste now.
When I think Agent Venom, I think Flash Thompson in the full, like, Marine Venom suit, I call it.
Yeah, Marine-looking Venom suit, yeah.
With the gun, and it's like, this is what I'm using the power for. That was the one where, wasn't Flash Thompson amputated? Like, he had both of his legs amputated?
Maybe,
the
yeah.
symbiote was able to, how he got his legs back, because he could use the symbiote to make the
limbs,
the bottom half of his limbs. The thing that I think with Carnage in this one, and it's not a huge theory, it's not a big, I'm going out on a limb here, I basically think that Carnage's role in this will be a background person that doesn't deal with Eddie Brock maybe at all, very limited to at all, and he'll be set up as the sequel's villain.
Yeah,
like that is what we're setting up for.
That's kind of what I was going to get to as well. The minimum, I mean, maybe like a run-in.
Yeah. Without
like any symbiotes at all. So like just to make him some sort of an antagonist now, in a sense.
Here's a question that just popped into my head.
Yeah.
If you were going to make him the villain in a future Venom movie, would you want him to go mano-a-mano with Venom one-on-one? Or would you want to see like what we've seen in Spider-Man cartoons and comics of like Venom needs Spider-Man's help to take down Carnage?
I prefer something like that, honestly, because in a sense it'd be cool at least one time to have, or at least let's put it this way, either help from someone or he goes up against Carnage, gets his ass whooped, big time. Comes back and says, you know what? I can't just do this as I thought I could. Like, Venom was always about, I'm big, I'm strong, I can take anyone. He gets his ass whooped by Carnage, and then it's like, okay, I can't do the same tactic I always do. I need to change up my game. Then that's maybe where him and the symbiote start working together a little bit more than, hey, you're my host. I'm here to protect you, but guess what? I'm driving the truck when it comes to fighting. No, now they have to start thinking.
And I'm reading right here that it says, it may even be that some of Eddie Brock's nearest and dearest will be Cassidy's targets. And reading that, I think back to the trailer that we saw for Venom. And he basically was like, oh, what was the exact quote? He's like saying everything, and I can picture it in my head. They show what looks to be his love interest, and it was like an ex-lover or like a fan, like, and it's like maybe they're targeted by Cassidy in some way, and they say perhaps even Brock's ex-wife and Weeing. There are actually rumors that the movie will end with Brock committed to San Quentin State Prison, where he and Cassidy will be cellmates. A fragment of Venom's symbiote will break off, making its way towards Cassidy, and the film will fade to black. This would be a fairly accurate reproduction of Carnage's comic book origin. The thing that I have a hard time believing, though, is you're going to go ahead and get, like, if you're going to do something like that and have, like, I get the part where they're probably going to have him earlier in the film where, like, the Life Foundation recruits Cassidy as one of their agents and he's a part of that. But are you going to go ahead and get an actor like Woody Harrelson, who I would say is a big-time actor for this role? Would you go ahead and get him and not use him? And I say not use him to basically say, would you... I want him to be, like, I want Cassidy to be huge into this story if Woody Harrelson is Cassidy, because I want you to basically give me that money's worth that you're paying him. If it's just the only thing we really get of Cassidy is at the end, the Venom symbiote kind of makes its way towards him.
That's not worth the money.
That's not the money. That's not the money worth the money that you gave to Woody Harrelson. Because Woody Harrelson is an amazing actor.
So what I would do is have him as Cassidy. Honestly, Cassidy was put into jail for murder, right? He was a psychopath in the first place.
Yeah.
So what I would do is maybe partway, like a little bit into the movie, have him somehow stopped by Venom, or more so Eddie. It's Eddie Brock, right? That we're going off of. Yeah, I couldn't remember for a minute.
Well, because I mentioned Flash Thompson earlier.
That's why.
It's Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock. So let's say Eddie Brock and Eddie Brock and Venom stop Cassidy, get him arrested. Like, hey, no, we're not going to kill this one. This guy needs to stand trial. He gets put in jail, and then as soon as Eddie Brock stops cooperating with the Life Foundation, they recruit Woody Harrelson or Cassidy and say, how would you like to help us out with something and get your revenge on someone? And they take one of the other symbiotes, because you said it's what was the storyline where there's multiple symbiotes already?
Where it's that's the whole Lethal Protector.
Lethal Protector. So it's like we're gonna attach this symbiote to you. Or this newly modified symbiote we played around with some of the symbiote we caught.
See, I would love,
and then like introduce that to Cassidy, and that's where you kind of.
Here's what I just thought of, and it's because I'm picking parts of this article now to just read and kind of think about. What if, because it says here that Woody Harrelson is the man to watch. Harrelson joined Venom when the film was in late in production and was initially described as a henchman. That is an important clue to his role. What if they never name him as Cassidy? They never name him. But he's just a henchman. He seems like you know what? For this, you're watching and you go, that's a weird side role for Woody Harrelson to be cast as.
Yeah,
Maybe
really.
they just wanted someone with the comedic chops.
True.
Is what you're thinking about. And then at the end, this thing I said where Brock gets committed to prison, he walks into the cell, and you just see Woody Harrelson, hey, buddy. Just Woody Harrelson way. Just, hey, buddy, how's it going? Brock sits down, symbiote comes out, you see it plop down an inch, goes on to Cassidy's hand, cut to black.
That'd be
That would be
interesting.
all right. However,
Yeah.
the thing I'm fighting in my head is if you're like, that would be like, all right, that he wasn't just a henchman. He's Cassidy. He's going to be Carnage. But part of me wants you to make him like Cassidy, make me know he's Cassidy, so that we can see that homicidal psychopath attitude and get the backstory of Cletus Cassidy before he gets the symbiote, before he becomes Carnage.
So were you the one that said that it's him as a henchman, or was that something you just
That
read?
was in the article. It said henchman.
Henchman.
In quotes.
Which is weird. Again, weird
Quotes
for Woody.
and italicized.
Weird for Woody Harrelson again.
Uh-huh.
What if it's like he's the top henchman that like
For the Life Foundation.
Life Foundation, but that like in a sense like almost their mercenary. In a sense,
He's the one
their
that
top guy.
when they
They
go
want
and
someone
need the
dead.
dirty work.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like they show a few times of like he has no problem just going, bam. well, So what
And
did you
shooting a
want?
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He has like no remorse or like
Kind of
literally
like the
just,
Vulture and Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, but except without the I'm protecting my family thought. It's like
Yeah.
this is fun. Bam.
Because when he, spoilers,
or hell.
shot the Shocker.
Yeah.
The original Shocker.
Yeah. Well, he said he thought it was the anti-gravity gun. No, that's over there.
Ooh.
Anyway, so that was more like I'm protecting my family.
Yeah.
I'm protecting my
Where
interests.
this is, he's just
Cassie's
a fucking
just like
psychopath.
he talk like Cassie would be the guy that's like choking a guy,
But
or
having a conversation like
casual
this.
conversation with you. It's like, so yeah, what'd you do yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounded great. What'd you get from the grocery store?
And
That's the type of thing it would be. It's like you see Woody Harrelson just doing something or like finishing a guy off like that.
And that's what I would want.
That's what I want. I want to be like their calling guy.
I wouldn't want Woody Harrelson just to be a henchman and then at the end be like, oh, that was really Cletus Cassidy.
So how would you feel, though?
I want to know it's Cletus Cassidy so I can get into the mind of Cassidy and see how fucked up he really is.
What would you say if it was just like along the lines of they never say his name? Like when they say to like they say call him and they call like it's Woody Harrelson and they never say Cassidy until, hey Cassidy, you have a new cellmate. Cell door opens. It's Eddie Brock comes in, and then that whole thing that you talked about, cut the black.
But I still get him as a normal character. They just never say his name.
Not till the very end, and like you realize this is Cletus Cassidy. How would you feel about that?
That'd be the ultimate tease. Like they'd be teasing me because as a fan, I would know. I'd be like, "Come on, it's Cassidy."
Right?
Like we definitely know this is Cletus Cassidy. We definitely know that.
But
for
never
sure.
say his name throughout the movie until the very end.
That just sounds like such a movie thing to do,
right?
It just sounds like exactly what they would do. Fuck.
Sony.
Like, part of me, like,
Sony stops this one because we're giving too much of the actual storyline away.
They stopped this podcast. But the thing I think ultimately is he's going to be Carnage has got to be the main villain for the next one.
So I know it said cut the black.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would it be if it's like Eddie Brock just curls and faces the wall? It's like I don't want to deal with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of symbiote comes off and like and gets on Cassidy, and then you see like as a shadow the Carnage symbiote silhouette cut the black.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Like slow, instead of breaking Ricky like I usually do, I'm slowly tearing him down now.
Oh, speaking of that, Mark blew my mind on the onside kick this week.
I
told him, I said Johnny's not going to like that because Johnny's the only one that can blow my mind here at MVP.
I gotta step up my game. I've been blowing your mind in a while.
But here's the other thing I want to ask you. What do you think of Woody Harrelson's pick to play Carnage, play Cassidy?
I like it, honestly. All the stuff I've seen him in, the one thing I'm really hoping he brings into it, I loved him. I mean, I've seen him in War of the Planet of the Apes. He's kind of
crazy.
A little bit. I mean, in the right way. Why can I not think of it? It's called Zombieland. It's right at the top of the thing. I have his IMDb up just so I know. Zombieland. I loved him in Zombieland.
Don't forget him in Semi-Pro, man.
Semi-Pro too.
That Will Ferrell
But I'm not
comedy.
even. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want him to take elements of Zombieland and throw it in here.
I want that Woody Harrelson.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't do the hey Cassidy, you got a roommate. I want that Woody Harrelson for just how fucked up he can be. If it's like Brock turns the corner, sees him sitting there, and that like, hey buddy. That's what I want. That's the kind of inflection from his character Eddie Monix.
Yes.
In not Tropic Thunder, Semi-Pro. That's the kind of inflection I would want for that. Hey, buddy.
No, I really want the Zombieland inflection though, because it's like kill. I want the inflection there, but I want like the homicidal side of it. Whereas like hell, what was the whole goal for him in Zombieland? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. I know that.
I want a goddamn Twinkie.
That's right.
I just want that, like almost like.
Didn't he lose his family?
He lost his son.
That's what I thought.
At first, like, and that was really sad because they described it as a dog, and then it's like his kid. It's like,
yeah.
Oh.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Broke my fucking heart, and I'm not gonna say spoilers because that's on you if you haven't seen it.
Here's my question for you though.
2009.
After this movie,
yes.
Going further, how would you feel if they made and don't let the name spook you. Because one of my favorite heroes has a name like this, and it was a very awful movie. What if they did a movie called Venom versus Carnage, and that was the sequel?
As long as we don't get a Batman v Superman style one, sure.
But what would like?
Just don't throw too much shit in there. That's all.
What if they? Here's what I'm giving you: little parameters to like. I'm going to give you a box to play in, and come off with all of your different ideas. Okay. But you have to stay within these boxes.
Okay.
The movie is Carnage versus Venom. Spider-Man's not going to be in it. Okay. How would you frame that movie? If it's Carnage, you have to have Carnage versus Venom as your main protagonist, antagonist. Yeah. Spider-Man's not in on the fight. If you can't use Spider-Man.
Excuse me. I would, like I said earlier, that's where I would...
Because I took that out because you would want Spider-Man in it, but what if you can't because of MCU?
Yeah, no, dealings? I understand that. That's why I said it the way I did earlier. I would go along the idea of exactly what I said earlier. So not Carnage. Venom is usually about brute force. I'm going to use brute force because that's what I can do. I mean, yeah, there's the manipulation and the creation of stuff and killing. Well, that's going to be where Eddie Brock's more so going along the lines of no, we're not going to kill. No, we're not going to kill. We're going to just apprehend people. Yeah. We're going to stop things. I want to do that. I want to use this for good. And then it's like the back and forth with the symbiote. Well, there's going to be the Carnage thing. He's going to get his ass handed to him like tenfold to where the point of Carnage almost kills him. And it's going to be, okay, we need, like, the symbiote realizes and he realizes, okay, symbiote, we need to work together. We need to do it this way. And you can't just use brute force all the time. We need to actually play smarter. And then that's where it sort of gets into like I don't want to say an Agent Venom thing, but like it's styling more towards the Agent Venom
where style. He's like, I'm controlling the symbiote, it's not controlling me.
Exactly. I'm controlling it. You're working with me now. You're not going to take over in the fight scene. We are going to work together. I can think, you have the skills. Let's put that together and actually beat this guy. And then they figure out a way to stop Carnage without actually killing Carnage, because we don't do that usually.
Because one of the things that I would think of is if they're going to put Spider-Man in a Venom sequel, could you see Spider-Man in a Venom sequel without having the part of the story where the symbiote attaches to Spider-Man? Because remember, cartoon series we grew up with
attaches Spider-Man first.
Sam Raimi Spider-Man
attaches Spider-Man first.
I think that if you are going to have it to where you're going with a different Eddie Brock, putting Spider-Man in so early, it's going to be interesting to see how people react to, hey, the symbiote's never going to attach to Tom Holland.
What if we put it this way? Because we said he's on the opposite side of the U.S., right?
He's San Francisco.
Yeah, he's the opposite side of the U.S. Let's say we throw Spider-Man in there for like this Carnage versus Venom movie.
Because Tom Holland has been reportedly seen on set of this Venom movie, just not in the spider suit.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that's where they get the because what again, you and I have talked about it before, and just a reminder, Carnage is made of Venom and Spider-Man's blood, right?
I think so.
Okay. Well, then that would be, if he was on set, that'd be awesome, because it would basically say, hey, that's where we get the blood from. Whatever reason, Peter Parker actually gave up his blood somehow. But that would mean that it would give a reason for that to be, and it would give like kind of a tie-in of like when maybe Tom Holland comes in for Carnage v Venom, and the first time he sees Spider-Man, the symbiote freaks out and goes like just absolutely pissed at Spider-Man.
I'm also looking here, and this is interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at kind of like the base origin of Carnage. And it says, let's see, the symbiote, blah, 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 right here. Carnage was a serial killer known as Cletus Cassidy and became Carnage after merging with the offspring of an alien symbiote called Venom during a prison breakout. The symbiote amplified his psychotic nature, making him even less mentally stable than he had been previously, and therefore even more dangerous. An interesting note is that, unlike Venom, Carnage is a singular entity, referring to himself as I instead of we. That, I think, would be awesome, too. Like, you hear Venom, it's like we, where Carnage is, no, it's I.
Yeah.
It is me. I have taken you over. I am
part of you.
Like, we are together to where it's I now and not we, because the symbiote actually merged with Cassidy's bloodstream. And there's nothing in here that I see with it.
Maybe maybe it was one of the Spider-Man cartoons then that how that happened.
Because
let's see. Even better, you don't need to tie Spider-Man into that.
This is it.
Since then.
So Cassidy has been separated and reattached to the symbiote multiple times.
Okay.
The Carnage symbiote has occasionally attached itself to other hosts, including Silver Surfer, Ben Reilly, a clone of Spider-Man. Do you think we'll see him in Into the Spider-Verse?
Maybe.
Doc Ock. Venom later decided to absorb the Carnage symbiote for good, during which Cassidy retained the Carnage persona by consuming himself in red paint and continuing his killing spree. This was short-lived, however, when he continuously found the exact replica of the symbiote in the negative zone. Yeah, I don't see anything about it merging with Spider-Man's blood. It was basically during a prison breakout.
That must be one of the cartoons, is why I had that in my head, that it was mixed with Spider-Man's blood. So you don't need Spider-Man for that part of it then.
You know what would be a cool scene, and it's only because I'm seeing a picture right now. I'm looking at a picture right now of Carnage basically ripping Eddie Brock out of the symbiote. Could you imagine seeing that on the big screen? Like, Carnage coming up behind Venom, grabbing him, and basically pulling Eddie Brock out of the symbiote.
Just the Carnage sharp claws, like, start to grow out.
Because this looks like he's got Eddie Brock by the hair, and then through the eye holes of the symbiote is just ripping them apart.
So could you imagine just... this is how I would see it.
I'm just trying to... I don't know what I would do if I saw that on the silver screen.
It would be amazing, honestly. If it's done right, like you have him just reach in through the scalp, grab Eddie Brock by the hair, by the head.
Ooh,
like because he
claws into the head.
Well, not into the head, but like around it. So like you just hold like my fingers aren't long enough, so it goes like this, goes around the head,
and then he just pulls the symbiote off of him
and pulls him right out of the symbiote. Could do that and then toss him.
And then the symbiote is just there going all crazy because it doesn't know
wigging out because it's like
do.
my host is gone.
Any final thoughts on this before we move on?
No, I'm excited. I really like the pick for Woody Harrelson to be in there. I really hope he is Carnage.
And not just a henchman?
Yeah, not just a henchman. Even though weird to cast him that. It's just weird when I hear Woody Harrelson cast as henchman. But yeah, no, I'm excited, and hopefully we actually get like a taste of Carnage in there.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section. What do you think Carnage's role will be, and how much of Woody Harrelson will we see in the Venom movie? Let us know what you think in the comment section.